Hello shop boys out there, it's a brand new week, so you guys know what that means. A new week with lots of new adventures to be had, and I'm taking you guys along on my adventures that I get up to this week. It's Monday, a brand new start to the week, and I have got Monday and Tuesday off work. I'm not on until Wednesday evening. We used to get Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday daytime to relax. And I got up, showered and changed and had some lemon curd toast and a cup of tea for breakfast. My mum isn't a big fan of it, she always calls it lemon curd. I then was playing with Bear out in the garden, enjoying the lovely sunshine and blue skies. This is the spring weather that we've been wanting and I'm absolutely loving it. I was playing with him with his whip toy, which he absolutely loves. I then was just working on some illustrations, throwing some days in and watching some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos and sea lion videos, and we did some more of volume 5 of Heartstopper and had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits. And then I got myself ready to go off for a walk. I made the most of this beautiful sunshine. I was on my walk, I was listening to music on my headphones. I then got to the high street and went off to the flower shop, and I got some flower stats for now that I'll show you guys. They've always got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in that flower shop, with such beautiful flowers with lovely colours, lots of really pretty roses, and that basket with the flowers in is so cute. I then got 3 mirror selfies from there, and I'll show you guys those. I got 2 selfies in front of some of the succulents and cactuses, and then 1 in front of some of the beautiful bouquets of flowers. I then headed off to look around the plant section and got some plants out from there that I'll show you guys. There's like a little jungle in there, all of the plants hanging down from the windows, and the beautiful plant displays in the windows with all the succulents and cactuses and the fishy patterned leaves, and these plant pots and those tomato soup plant pots are so cute. I then headed off to have a look around some of the charity shops and went off to one of the charity shops which has lots of cute mirrors in at the moment, and I got 2 mirror selfies from there, one in front of this 3-sided mirror and another one in front of this wavy mirror, and I'll show you guys these 2 mirror selfies I got. I then headed off to have a look in the bookshop. I love the smell of old books so much. I came across some Doctor Who books, so I was having a look at those. Then popped to Aldi to have a look at the Best Buy section, and then I went off to one of the other charity shops and I got 3 mirror selfies from there. They had some really cool mirrors in there, and I'll show you guys those. I then saw one of my mates in one of the cafes, so I went in and chatted with them, and then on the way out I got 2 mirror selfies from there, and I'll show you guys those. They always have really cool mirrors in that place, and all the chandeliers and lanterns and pretty prints. I then made my way off to Tesco's to get some bits from there, and I got some cash out to use for the week, as I don't like to tap on my card as much. I like to be able to see what I'm spending and how to budget a little bit better. I then went in to get some flower sets from the bouquet section in there, and I'll show you guys those. They always have such beautiful bouquets of flowers in there with lovely colourful flowers, and I love all the roses and sunflowers on those bouquets. They are some of my favourite flowers to get snaps of. And then I got a Caesar salad from there that I was going to have for tea, but we're having pie for tea, so I'm going to have that tomorrow evening after Jigsaw. I then was chatting to one of my mates who works in Tesco's, and then I went off to our community garden, which is so cute, and it's tucked away just by High Street, and I got some stats on that that I'll show you guys. It's so pretty in there, and I'm sat on a bench enjoying the beautiful sunshine and blue skies and all the pretty flowers and the pretty painted tiles they had on the grass. I then headed back into the High Street and went off to get a Greggs, and I got a cheese and bake from there and bumped into Tash and Jazz, who were getting a Greggs for their lunch, so I was having a quick chat with them. And then I went off to Winifred's and got a cream finger and some lemon curd from there, and then popped to go to the public loos, and they were shut, so we went off back to one of the cafes to buy the loo, and I got a mirror selfie from there with these lanterns either side of the mirror, and I'll show you guys that. It's such a beautiful mirror, and I love those lanterns either side of that mirror. I then made my way back from being at the High Street I went for more of a walk, and whilst on my walk I came across this figure of some goats with some animals carved into it, and I'll show you guys that. I love the things that I come across whilst on my walks. I also got some flower stats, I'm going to show you guys those. I was able to get some really beautiful flower stats with lovely colours, lots of blossoms and tulips. I love this time of year with all the spring flowers starting to appear, all those lovely tulips, such lovely colours, lots of pinks and yellows, lovely bright colours. I then was almost about to get a robin snap, and I was being as quiet as a mouse when this lady came stomping along and spooked it. It was so annoying. Have to try and get one next time, and you just have to be really quick when trying to get snaps of robins because they go so fast. I was talking to my mate about it, and they said you'd think with all this technology they'd come up with a new thing on your phone that can make you be able to get snaps quicker, so you could get snaps of robins and stuff that are just too quick. Maybe in the future we might have something like that, but yeah, I just have to try go back there and see if I could get a snap of a robin next time. And then I got back and I had my cheese and bake that I'd got from Greggs and my cream finger that I got from Winifred's with a cup of tea in my tulip mug, which is one of my favourite mugs. I got from Aldi a few years back with Tash, I think it was last year or the year before, and I'll show you guys that. It was so delicious. I was then watching a bit of Stargate and a bit of White House 13 with my mum, and my dad was out the front washing the car, so Bear was getting a bit restless, not being able to get to him. So my dad put a little wooden gate across so he was able to stick his head out and watch what my dad was doing. So my dad would come out and pat him whilst washing the car, and then he took Bear for his walk, and I was watching a bit of Escape to Country, Fairground and Garden Rescue, and then my dad got back with Bear, and I then just worked on some more illustrations and colours those in, and was just a bit of music, and sorted my Pluto doll out into a new look that I'm showing you guys. Here's my Pluto doll's newest look, starting off with the shoes. She's got these black lace-up boots with some black netted stockings, then he's got these blue denim shorts on with this black and white striped long sleeve jumper, and she has this Eiffel Tower necklace on and this black hat on, and this is the whole look. I love that look. It's giving me Paris vibes with the striped jumper and the Eiffel Tower necklace, which is such a nice accessory, and I got that from an IRY Disney doll fashion set, and it's such a cute necklace. I then was just listening to a bit of music and we did some more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits, which are my favourite biscuit at the moment. They're so delicious, and was just working on a bit of my short story that I've just been working on at the moment. And then for tea we had some pie, and I'm going to show you guys that. The pie we had for tea was so delicious. I had a cheesy leek pie with some peas and mashed potato and gravy. Mwah. I then had to tidy away the kitchen, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then watch today's Home and Away and UK soaps, and then finish watching the last episode of season 2 of One Piece on Netflix, which I'll see you for more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Tuesday, and I got up after a bit of a lie-in. I then had some breakfast, and for my breakfast I had some porridge. I'm loving my porridge at the moment. I was then playing with Bear out in the garden, playing with his massive rope toy, which he loves, and he was very excitable doing zoomies around the garden. I then was watching some stuff off Record and listened to a bit of music off the 90s music channel, which was playing a bit of the Spice Girls. Love a bit of the Spice Girls. I then watched a bit of Holmes and the Hammer, and then I was just working on some illustrations and coloring some of those in. Listened to a bit of Kylie, and I just saw her in the Chanel advert with Margot Robbie recreating the iconic music video for Come Into My World, and it's such an iconic music video, and the advert is so good. And Kylie makes a little bit of a cameo. She's in one of the windows as Margot walks past, and I didn't see it at first, and then when we were watching it I saw her in the advert, and it's just so good. I then got myself ready to go off to my happy place, the garden centre, and whilst on my walk I was listening to music on my headphones, and I had a lovely stroll, and it was a bit overcast, but I love overcast weather when it's not too hot, not too cold, just perfect weather in the middle. And then I was able to get some really cute selfies of some of the flowers and blossoms whilst on my walk. I then got up to the garden centre and I got some flower starts from there, and I'll show you guys those. I then went off and had a look at the home section and stationery and notebooks and plushes, and was this close to getting a mug from there, but I didn't need any mugs at the moment. I then got 3 mirror selfies from these pretty mirrors that I'll show you guys. Those mirrors are so beautiful. I then went off and had a look around at the Easter displays they had. Got some Easter eggs and chocolates and sugary goodness, and ended up getting some sweets from the sweet section, and I'll show you guys a clip of those. I got some sweets from the sweet section from Dobbies. I've got some jelly beans and some of these fizzy ones. Can't wait to tuck into these. I couldn't resist. I love jelly beans and jelly babies, and I haven't had jelly babies in ages. It always makes me think of the Fourth Doctor. He'd always say, "Do you want a jelly baby?" And I've got a mug with the Tom Baker Fourth Doctor scarf, and on it it says, "Would you like a jelly baby?" I then was chatting with one of my mates who works there. He was serving on the till as I bought the sweets, and then I went off to go to the plant section and got some snacks from there that I'll show you guys. They had a load of new plant displays, so I was having a lovely look around there, and I love all the succulents and cactuses and the pretty plant pots and those leaves with all those pretty colours and patterns on. I then went off to have a look at the clothes section they've got in there now, and ended up getting a mirror selfie from there that I'll show you guys. I saw a load of cute jumpers in there, but it's a little bit expensive, so I might have to wait till I got paid again, and maybe might get a jumper from there. I just love sweater weather. I then ended up getting some more flower snaps, and I'll show you guys those. There's just such beautiful flowers in that garden centre at the moment. I love spring, summer, when all the beautiful flowers start to appear with lovely colours and patterns. I then made my way home, and on my way back I was listening to music on my headphones and got this pretty white flower snap. I'm going to show you guys that. It's such a beautiful flower I came across, and I got a selfie in front of the flowers as well. Such lovely colours and patterns on those flowers. I then went to One Stop and I got myself some more custard creams, as I was running low. Bloody love custard creams. And then I got a drink for the rest of the walk back and got a drink for work tomorrow evening. I then got back and my mum and dad had gone to my grandma's. My mum normally goes to my grandma's on Tuesday afternoons, and my dad had to go to my grandma's to sort out some DIY stuff that she needed my dad's help with, so they were both there. So I made sure to keep Bear entertained, as he gets a bit restless when mum and dad are both out, and me and my younger sister were both watching a little bit of Friends. And then I watched Escape to Country and had my lunch, and I had some of my custard creams with a cup of tea and a pop noodle, and was watching a bit of Far Brown, Escape to Country, and then watched a bit of Garden Rescue. And then my dad got back and he took Bear off for a walk, and then my mum got back a little bit later on. I then was just working on some more illustrations and colouring some of those in and listening to a bit of music. And I'm now off to go and watch some more episodes of Doctor Who. I've just been watching more David Tennant episodes. The 10th Doctor, he is my Doctor Who, and I'm just going to be chilling before going off to Jigsaw volunteering that I do on Tuesday nights, and just see you with a bit more of the vlog when I'm back from that. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at Jigsaw volunteering I do on Tuesday nights. So I got dropped to Jigsaw by my dad, and it was absolutely lashing down rain, and it wasn't raining when I got dropped up, and so I didn't have a coat, so I literally had to dash into Jigsaw. We were then doing a escape room evening, so we had lots of clues to solve, and the kids worked really well together as a team to find the clues, and it was really fun, and we managed to work it out quite quickly. We then did some Kahoots, and they love a Kahoot quiz, and then it was the end of the session. And next week we're going to be going down to our town's castle for a little walk around the gardens, and the clocks go forward, so it means it will stay lighter for longer. So at first I was like, going down when Jigsaw starts, that's going to be pitch black, but then my dad informed me that it'll be lighter than which is very exciting. I can't wait for the lighter evenings. I then got back and got changed back into the jumper I'm wearing right now and put my jigsaw top in the wash. And then for my tea, I had a chicken Caesar pasta salad from Tesco's, and I'll show you guys that. The pasta pots that they do at Tesco's are so delicious. I then finished writing my journal entry for today. I put that away and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home and Away and UK soaps, and then I'm going to be watching brand new Stacey Solomon's Sort of Life Out. I love that show so much, and to see more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Wednesday and I got up after a lie-in, a very long lie-in. I didn't get up until 12 to set my alarm. I didn't have anything to get up for, but I just like to get up early and make the most of my days off and daytimes off. If I'm working in the evening, I like to get up and like try to get a few things done before work in the evening. So I got up and I got showered and changed. I then had my breakfast and I had some lemon curd toast with a cup of tea, and then me and my mum were just watching a bit of Bargain Hunt. I love that show so much. And then I was playing with Bear with his rope toy, and it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies but very, very windy. Thought I was going to get blown away at one point. And then I was just listening to a bit of music and worked on some illustrations, kind of sort of dozing, and was reading a bit more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard creams. I was just tidying up my office, my dolls and dollhouse a little bit, and then I got messaged by my manager, and he's filled out my passport forms, signing the photos so I can get that sent off. And then we got our work shifts for next week, so I've written those down in my journal and also on a bit of paper on the whiteboard in the kitchen. I then got ready to go off for a stroll, and I headed off. On my walk, I wore my hat so not to burn my head because it's still very warm and sunny out there, and I don't want to be getting my head looking like a lobster. And was listening to music on my headphones whilst on my walk, enjoying the sunshine and blue skies, and the wind had died down a little bit, so it wasn't as blustery, thankfully. And I got up to the high street, and just as I got up to the high street, it started to spit a little bit, so it was windy, sunny, and a bit of spit of rain in there as well. The weather is just crazy at the moment, can't make its mind up. I then went off and had a look at the charity shops. I went off to the book shop, and I've looked at the smell of old books so much, and looked at some of the Doctor Who books, and they had some Coronation Street books and books about Emmerdale, so I was having a look at those. You know how I love my soaps. And then I went off to go into Surroundings, one of my favourite little knick-knack shops that sells lots of arts and craft stuff and bits of art and like prints and mugs and socks and all things that I love. And I got some stats on that to show you guys. Also love going in there and had a lovely chat with the shopkeepers in there. I then went off and looked at some more shops and went off to get myself some lunch from the co-op, and I got myself some chicken and stuffing sandwiches, some refrigerators, and got myself a drink for the walk home. And then I went off to one of the pubs to buy the loo on my walk back as I finished my drink, and it must have gone right through me. So I went off to buy the loo and then got 2 mirror selfies from this beautiful golden mirror that I'm showing you guys. That mirror is so beautiful. I then continued on with my walk and got some beautiful flower snaps to show you guys. All of the tulips out and about at the moment are so beautiful. Tulips are some of my favourite flowers to get snaps off in springtime, all the pretty blossoms. I then got back and I had my chicken and stuffing sandwiches, my refrigerators, and I had a cup of tea with one of my hot cross buns I got from Co-op Bakery, smothered in butter. And then I was watching some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos, and just listened to a bit of music. I was tidying up my office and dollhouse a little bit and reading some more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper, and my younger sister was sorting out her new desk my dad had got for her in her bedroom. And then I was just working on some new illustrations, and I'll show you guys those. Here's my new illustrations. Starting off with this one here. She's got this shoulder padded long sleeve top with a heart cut pantsuit over the top, these high heels, and then lace bits on the sleeves, and this lace bit on the sleeve here. Then she's got this brooch with these collars and a cross earring necklace, and then she's got this long flowing hair. I love the winged eyeliner and the lashes. The faces are my favourite things to do with my illustrations. And then onto this one here, she's got long flowing hair with this black dyed bit of hair like little flicky side fringe. Then she's got this necklace with a little like bow on, and this off the shoulder flared sleeve dress with these lace bits on the sleeve, and this belt with a buckle on, and this heart ring, and she's got a triangle ring. She's got some acrylic nails on each of their hands, and she's got these high heel boots on, and that is my two newest illustrations for you guys. Very into my 80s fashion at the moment, the big shoulder pads, very Dynasty vibes. I then had a cup of tea and some of my custard creams and was reading a bit more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper, and just watched some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos. And my younger sister was sorting out a new desk that my dad had got for her, and she didn't need this shelving unit that she had in her bedroom, so it was out on the landing, and I knew that it would fit perfectly in the spare room, which is also my vlog studio and where I have some of my inbox dolls on display. And so I used that shelf to put some of my dolls on display, and I'll show you guys a clip of that. I've just been busy sorting out the spare room slash vlog studio, putting some of my inbox dolls on display as the pile in my bedroom is getting a little bit out of control. So I've now minimalised that so I can actually get through my bedroom door. And my young sister was sorting out her bedroom and has a new desk in there, so it doesn't need this shelf unit anymore. So I was like, waste not, whatnot. So put it in here and it fits perfectly. And I've got my pop figures overflow at the bottom here because there wasn't enough room to fit doll boxes down there. And in this shelf I've got two of my double sets of my Shadow High dolls. And then on here I've got my 65th Barbie anniversary doll, my Corpse Bride doll, my Kylie doll, and then my Enid, Wednesday, and a Venus Flytrap doll. And on this shelving unit here I've got a Jade doll at the bottom there, and then on this shelf I've got a Powerpuff Girl and my Clueless Cher Barbie signature doll. Then I've got my Barbie pop figures with a Mad Hatter purse, and then I've got Chip and Miss Potts purses, and I've got some random pop figures. I've got 11, Elliot and E.T., Ariel and Wednesday, and then I've got my Wicked pop figures with my Wicked drinks cup I got from the cinema when seeing the first one. And at the top there I've got my Corpse Bride pop figures, and then my Max and Grinch pop figure set. And I love how it has turned out, and I'm hoping to get a shelf up there with some dolls put on there as well. It looks so good having some of my favourite inbox dolls on display in this spare room slash my vlog studio, and I'm hoping to get some more of the dolls put on display in there on some shelves to minimise the pile of dolls I have in here in the bedroom. And I can actually get through my bedroom door now, and it's nice to have them on display and all piled up, and it's not as big as it was, so it's not going to cause an avalanche of doll boxes everywhere. I then was playing with Bear out in the garden with his rope toy, which he loves, and got a snap of him out in the garden. I'm sure you guys that. He's so adorable, and I'm now off to go and finish off watching this Netflix rom-com called The Life List with Sophia Carson and Kyle Allen, and it's so adorable. And I'm just going to be chilling before going off to work this evening, and shall see you with more to vlog when I'm back from that. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at work. I had a work shift doing 6 till close, so I got myself ready for work. I then got dropped to work by my dad. I then got clocked in and put my bag away. I got my drink out to have for work, and I had some of that, and it was just me and one other colleague on shift, and we absolutely smashed the close. I was ordering lots of food and drinks, and doing some food and drink orders and pint pouring, and someone chatted to some of the burglars. I was just getting on with some of the cleaning and clothes that I could get done, and was cleaning lots of tables. And then I finished for about 10ish. I then clocked off and got my bag and filled out a holiday form for the 17th of May for when I'm going to Chepstow for this pottery thing for my mum's belated birthday gift that my older sister is going to be planning, and I'm so excited for that, as I've always wanted to do a bit of pottery. I then got my holiday form put up on the little pinboard where all the other holiday forms are, and got my passport forms from the office that my manager had filled out, and I had to get some photos signed by my manager. I can now send off to get my passport. It should be coming in 13 weeks time, which I've looked up, and it should be 23rd of June, which is the day before my birthday, which should be a nice early little birthday present. And I'm going to be heading to Disneyland Paris with Tash, Jen and the kids for October, so I'm really looking forward to that. First time going to Disneyland Paris and Paris, so I'm so excited. We're going to be planning to go into Paris for the day. Cannot wait to live my Parisian dream fantasy and have some croissants sat in a little cafe, and yeah, going to be living my Emily in Paris vibes. I then got picked up by my mum. We then got back and I got into my PJs, and for my tea I had a curry, and I'm sure you guys that. The curry that I had for my tea was so good. I then finished my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm now off to go and watch today's Home and Away and UK soaps, and shall see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Thursday and I got up early ready to go off to the garden centre, my happy place with Tash, and I had some toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. I had some lemon curd toast, and I opened the new jar that I got from Weatherford the other day. Love lemon curd so much. I was then just watching a bit of TV and listening to some music, and was playing with Bear in the garden, and then I got myself ready to go off and meet Tash at hers, and then we headed off to go to the garden centre, and we got to the garden centre, went off to Armstrong Garden Centre, and I love that garden centre. It's huge and always love having a good look around there. And we got into the garden centre, and the first thing that I did was go off to the home section and get some snacks from the home section, and I'm sure you guys those. They have a load of really cool little setups, kind of like IKEA's home section, and they had lots of really cute pillows and plates and cups and things like that, so I was having a lovely look around there. And then me and Tash were having a look around the garden centre, went off to the plushie section and a load of the Easter displays they had, and Tash got some snacks with me around the garden centre, and I'll show you guys those. Not only is she my best mate, she's also my personal photographer. She always gets such great snaps with me. I then went off to the plant section, and the plant section is huge, so I was having a good look around there. All the pretty plant displays and all the succulents and cactuses. I got some plants that's on there that I'll show you guys. We've got so many beautiful succulents and cactuses and pretty patterned leaves and pretty plant pots. We then headed off to the flower section, and I got some flower sets on there, and I'll show you guys those. I was able to get some really pretty flower sets on there with lovely colours and patterns on. We then headed off from the garden centre, and on the way out I got a snap of me on this bench with this wisteria around this sign that says take a selfie, and I'll show you guys a snap that Tash got of me. It's giving me Bridgerton vibes. We then headed off to get the bus back from the garden centre, but the bus wasn't going to be for a while, so we went off to the pub across the road from the bus stop and had drinks in there, and I got some snacks from there. Let me show you guys. The pub is such a vibe, and I had an apple and mango J2O from there, as they didn't have any of the orange and passion fruit, so I had that one, which I hadn't had before and really enjoyed. We then sat and chilled in there for a little bit, and then got the bus to the Square, this awesome cafe that I always love to go to, and I had a coronation chicken sandwich with some salad and coleslaw, and the coleslaw was so good, with a pot of tea and a bit of lemon drizzle cake. And Tash had some sausage wraps with a Diet Coke and a bit of a baked quail tart, and I'll show you guys a snap of the food that we had there. It was so delicious, and we sat outside to have our food in a little sitting area outside of the cafe, enjoying the sunshine and blue skies. I then was chatting with one of the people who worked there, who I know who used to work in one of the other cafes, and then we headed off to get down back into town, and we ended up getting the bus back down the hill, so we didn't have to walk all the way down the hill. And we went off and had a run outside the child shops, and we saw Jen, and we were just chatting to her about games like tonight, and then she headed off, and I had got coronation chicken on my white jumper. Great. So I ended up getting a jumper, like this thin long sleeve top from one of the child shops, that I'll probably end up using that as a pajama top. And then Tash headed back to hers whilst I went and got that, and then got Pop for games night this evening, and then I went off to Tash's and we got 2 mirror selfies from the mirror in the hallway, and I'm sure you guys those. We then did the TikTok to Zara Larsson's Lush Life, a dance that goes along with that song, which is really big at the moment, and I am not the best dancer in the world, so it took a while to get it right, but we had a lot of fun doing it, and we did a version on Tasha's TikTok and did one on my TikTok, and then I made way back, and on the way back I was listening to music on my headphones, and I got home and got changed into this t-shirt and some cortolins as it's warmed up a little bit, and put my white jumper in the wash. Hopefully we can get that stain out, and I'm now off to go and read some more of volume 5 of Heartstopper, and have a cup of tea and some of my custard creams and write a bit of my journal and just chill before going off to Games Night this evening. You should see it with a bit more to vlog later on. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at Games Night at Jen's. So I got myself ready to go off to Games Night. I got dropped there by my dad. I got there and I was the first one there, so I was just having a nice chat with Jen while she was getting the tea ready. And then Tash and Jazz arrived and we played some games before tea, and we played this game called Chameleon, and then we had our tea, and for our tea we had some brioche buns with a bit of a mini fry up in there. So we had cheese, bacon, sausage and hash browns and bacon, and I'll show you guys that. It was so delicious. We then played a game called Wavelength, and then Tash had got some chocolates for us to have, so we had those for like pudding, and had some of those with some of the chocolate fruit popcorn that Jenna put on the table for us to have whilst playing some games. We then ended the evening by playing a game of Muffin Time, which is always a really fun one to play, and then I got dropped back by Tash, Jazz and her dad, and I got back and my older sister had popped over for the evening, so I was having a nice catch up with her. I had a cup of tea and a hot cross bun, and then she headed off home. I then finished writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and I'm off to morning group tomorrow, and we're going to be doing some Easter activities as the last one before the little break we have for Good Friday, and we come back once that's over. And I then was just watching some stuff off the cord in order to finish watching, and we're doing some more of volume 5 of Heartstopper, and I'm now off to go and watch Today's Home and Away and UK Soaps, and just see you with more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Friday and it's the end of the week, almost the weekend, and I got up ready for morning group and had slept through my alarm. I'd set my alarm so I could get up early, ready for morning group, and I'd snoozed it, so I woke up with a little bit of a panic. So I quickly got myself ready for morning group, had some toast and a cup of tea, and then got dropped to morning group by my mum. Got into morning group and was like so sorry, slept through my alarm, and then I was just chatting with the members of morning group, asking them how their weeks had been, and we were doing a little bit of arts and crafts. I always love doing arts and crafts at morning group, I find it so therapeutic. We're doing some Easter crafts, a bit of colouring in, and I'm going to show you guys a snap of the Easter craft that we did. We coloured in these Easter cards, and I did mine for my grandmother. I'm going to give her for Easter, and then we had some tea and coffee and some biscuits, and just had a good nasa. And then I was just doing some drawing and colouring in some of those, and then it was the end of the session, and it's not on next Friday as it's Good Friday, so we're not going to be having it on as they've got family coming down for Easter, so we're going to be having it the next week. I then got picked up by my mum, got back, and I had some lunch, and for my lunch I had some sausage sandwiches with a cup of tea and some biscuits, and then me and my mum were just watching a bit of Bargain Hunt, and then I was playing with Bear with his rope toy, which he loves, and he was very excited to see me when I got back from morning group and was giving him lots of kisses, and we had some cuddles, and he's just so adorable. And then I was just watching a bit of TV and listened to a bit of music, and was playing with Bear with his rope toy a little bit more, and I got a snap of Bear, and he's so cute with his big brown eyes, and I'm sure you guys, I love that pooch so much. I then put my colouring in and crafts that I did at Monogroup away in my bedroom, and then I was just listening to a bit of music, reading a bit more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper. I was just tidying up my office and Dolls and Dollhouse a little bit and working on some more illustrations. And then I called up Tash and I had a good catch up with her, and she's got the day off work. And I then got myself ready to go off for a massive walk. The weather's a little bit overcast, but it's dry, which is good. It did rain a little bit, but it was light rain first thing this morning, but now it's dried up. And I like overcast weather where it's not too hot, not too cold, just a perfect temperature, and don't like it when it's too sunny either. So this is my perfect weather. And whilst on my walk, I got some selfies in front of some flowers and pretty blossoms, and then I got some flower snaps and a sugar days. I had a lovely stroll getting some really pretty flower snaps and lovely blossom snaps. I then was making my way back when I bumped into one of my mates, so I was having a lovely chat with them, and then I got a snap of these little wooden planter boats that you can put flowers and plants in that my town's Bloom have put out, and it's a lovely display, and they've got a load of tulips in there at the moment, and I'll show you guys the snap I got of that. Those tulips are so pretty, lovely colours. I love tulips, and I got a selfie in front of that. I then got back and had a cup of tea and some biscuits. I was writing a bit of my journal entry for today. I got my uniform ready for work this evening. I'm doing a 6 till close, and then I was just listening to a bit of music. I was listening to a bit of Kate Bush, a bit of Kylie, a bit of Lady Gaga. I love a bit of everything really, and was just watching some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos and sea lion videos. And I'm now off to go and finish off my cup of tea and some of my custard creams and read some more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper. I'm just going to be chilling before going off to work this evening, and you'll see with a bit more of the vlog later on. It's late on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at my evening shift at work. I was doing 6 till close, so I got myself ready for work. I then got dropped to work. I got into work, I got clocked in, I put my bag away, I got my drink out to have for work. I had some of that, and it was me and 2 other colleagues on shift, and I was running some food and drinks and doing food and drink orders and drinks making and cleaning tables and just getting on with some of the cleaning and clothes jobs that I could get done. I was cleaning tables inside as well as outside. I was then chatting with some of the regulars, and it then quieted down a little bit, so I ended up finishing earlier than I thought I was going to be. I then clocked off, got my bag, and got picked up by my older sister, who dropped my younger sister off at her mate's house. And then we got back, I got showered and changed and put my work uniform out ready for work tomorrow. And then I got dropped to Jen's, and I've been invited there to have a curry. And I got there, and it was me, Jen, Tash, and one of our other colleagues, Karis, and we had such a lovely evening having the curry that Jen did, and it smelled and looked so good, and it was so delicious with the poppadoms and onion bhajis. Onion bhajis are so good, and I'll show you guys a snap of that. We then had some Gillian's chocolates and just had a lovely evening just chatting, lots of laughter, and literally had tears in my eyes from the amount of laughter we were doing. And we watched my leaving video from 2014 from my tutor video that we did, and it's so good, still so iconic. And then Karis dropped me and Tash back to ours, and my younger brother was over from being at my grandma's for tea, and my older sister had brought my younger sister back from being at her mate's house, and then my older sister and younger brother stayed for a little bit, and they went off home, and I'm now off to go and finish my journal entry for today, and then I'm going to be getting into my PJs and watching today's Home Away and UK soaps, and then I'm going to be finishing off reading a bit more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper as I'm getting through that quite quickly, and we'll see more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Saturday, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely start to your weekend. I got up early ready for work and had some toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. I was then just watching a bit of TV and listening to some music. I was playing with Bear on the garden, was her favourite rope toy, which she loves. And it was another lovely sunny day of beautiful blue skies. And my dad had to take my older brother and his girlfriend and older sister to the train station as they were off to go to Cardiff to watch the rugby. And then my dad got back and he dropped me off to work. I got up to work a little bit early, so just before work I went off to the flower shop and I got some flower stats from there to show you guys. I was able to get some really pretty flower stats from there. They also have such beautiful bouquets of flowers in there, lots of lovely roses and beautiful coloured flowers, and they had a lot of Easter themed bouquets made up for Easter coming up. I then was having a lovely chat with the flower shopkeepers in there, and I got some plant stats from the plant section, and I'll show you guys those. Like with the flower bouquets, the plant section had a few little Easter decorations in there, which is so cute, and I just love all the succulents and cactuses and the pretty patterned leaves and all the cute little plant pots. Those plant pots that are tomato soup tins are so adorable. I then got to work, got clocked in and put my bag away and got my drink out to have some of that. I had some of that, and it's me and 3 other colleagues on shift. One of my colleagues was on coffee, another colleague on bar, and then one of my other colleagues was on float, so they were on floor but also on bar when needed. I was mainly on floor, so I was running lots of food and drinks and cleaning tables and soundtrack to some of the regulars, and we had a great team on, a really good playlist on. I caught myself singing along to some of the songs when cleaning tables. I was then polishing some cutlery and putting clean plates and mugs away, and was cleaning tables inside as well as outside, as it was lovely and sunny, so we had lots of people sitting inside as well as outside. A little bit nippy, but at least it isn't raining, thankfully. I then got to have a lunch break and I had some nachos for my lunch, and I'm sure you guys those. They were nice and cheesy, just how I like it, and had a cola, and had set my alarm to go off when my lunch break had finished, and had my headphones on. I was just listening to a bit of music, watching some TikToks, and just scrolling through my social media and just chilling. And then my alarm went off to signal the end of my lunch break, and one of my colleagues was on, 2 of my colleagues were on a split shift, and one of them went off early, and I came off my lunch break, and then my other colleague who was on split shift finished at 3, so between 3 and 5 it was just me and Tash on shift, so I was just cleaning tables and doing a bit of a clean up, and then at about 4ish I ended up getting sent home as it quieted down, and so I thanked Tash for a lovely shift, and then I got changed out of my worktop and clocked off, got my bag, and then headed off, and I went off to have a look around some of the child shops and saw one of my mates, so I was having a nice chat with them, and I got this really cute jumper from one of the child shops, and I then ended up getting picked up by my mum as I was going to walk home, and then my foot was hurting a little bit, which I have a bit of problems with sometimes, and so I got picked up. I then got back, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of me trying on that new jumper that I got from the child shop. Here is my new jumper I got from one of the child shops. It's this mint green coloured long sleeve jumper, and it's such a pretty colour and fits like a glove. I'm really into my blues and mint green jumpers. I just love jumpers, love sweater weather, and I'm probably going to wear that tomorrow. I then had a cup of tea and some biscuits and just put some more of volume 5 of Heartstopper, and my dad had taken Bear off for his walk. They then got back, and I was just watching a bit of this David Attenborough wildlife documentary with my mum. I love a bit of David Attenborough, and then I was just working on some illustrations, kind of sewing those in. I just tidied up my office and my girls at downhouse a little bit, and then we ordered takeaway for tea, and we were having fish and chips, and I was just finishing off some illustrations and got my uniform ready for work tomorrow. I'm doing a 10:30 till 5, which means I get to have a little bit of a lie-in. And then our tea arrived, and I had fish cake and chips for my tea, and I'm sure you guys that. The fish cake and chips that I had for my tea was so delicious, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and then I'm going to be watching new Britain's Got Talent, and then finish off working on some more of my illustrations and colour some of those in, read a bit more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper, and then I'm going to be starting off the third series of Heartbreak High, this Australian drama series on Netflix, which is so good. I shall see you with more to vlog tomorrow. It's now Sunday, and here we go, all having a lovely Sunday rest. I didn't have work until 10:30, so I had a little bit of a lie-in, and the clocks had gone forward, so I ended up waking up naturally about 6 o'clock, tried to go back to bed, and then the dog was barking, so that was a little bit annoying. I then managed to get back to sleep, and then got up for about 9ish, got showered and changed, had some toast in the company for my breakfast, watched a bit of TV, and me and my mum were watching a bit of Murder, She Wrote. I love that show so much. I was then playing with Bear with his rope toy, which he loves, and then my manager messaged me saying don't worry about coming in for 10:30, come in at 11 instead. So I ended up doing 11 till 5 instead of 10:30 till 5, and I then was listening to a bit of music, and I then got dropped to work by my dad. I then got into work, I got clocked in and put my bag away. I got my drink out of my bag to have for work. I had some of that, and it was me and 3 other colleagues on shift. One was on coffee, one on bar, one on floor for me, but would also go on bar, so they were doing float, and I was mainly on floor, running lots of food and drinks, cleaning tables, and so on, chatted to some of the regulars, and we had some cyclists in that sat outside in the little gazebo area, so I was cleaning the cups they'd had with their coffees out there, and was cleaning tables inside as well as outside. And although it was a little bit blustery, we still had quite a lot of people sitting outside in the gazebo area. And then we had quite a busy lunch roast with lots of people having Sunday roasts, and I was running lots of Sunday roasts, and we were supposed to have a musician in, but they didn't end up coming in. I think they went very well. Lots of people off ill at the moment, lots of bugs going around. And then between 3 and 5, it was just me and one other colleague on shift, and I was just doing a massive cleanup. And then we had a massive group of people come in for lots of coffees, so I was running lots of their coffees and cakes over to them and doing lots of coffee orders. And then I ended up finishing about 4ish. I then clocked off, got my bag and got changed into this jumper. I was gonna have something at work for my lunch, but ended up getting some lunch from the co-op instead. I then had a lovely stroll back, and whilst on my walk back I got some flower snacks, and I'll show you guys those. I had a lovely Sunday stroll and was able to get some really beautiful flower snaps. Spring is such a beautiful time of year with all the beautiful colourful flowers and all the blossoms. I was able to get some really lovely snaps of some of the blossoms and lovely colourful footy patterned tulips. Tulips are so beautiful. I then bumped into one of my family friends who was taking their dog for a walk. I was having a nice chat with them, and they were asking me all about how Bear was getting on. So I was chatting to them about Bear, and I can't believe he's now 1. I then listened to music on my headphones and was enjoying the last little bit of my stroll before getting back. I then got home and I put my work clothes in the wash. I'm now not in work until Friday evening, so I've got the next 4 days off work, so I'm looking forward to having, and I'm excited about not having to set any alarms and getting to have a lie-in. I then had my lunch, and for my lunch I had some chicken and stuffing sandwiches, some barbecue hula hoops, and a cherry cola that I got from the co-op. Love barbecue hula hoops, they're my favourite type of hula hoops, and cherry cola is so good. And I had the chicken and stuffing sandwiches, which are my favourite sandwiches from the meal deal section. They're so delicious. I then went a bit more of Volume 5 of Heartstopper, wrote a little bit of my journal, worked on some illustrations and colours 7 days in, and then was watching a bit of Doctor Who. I watched some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos and some sea lion videos. I'm loving sea lions at the moment, they're just so adorable. And then my dad got back from taking Bear for his walk, and my mum had brought my grandma over for tea, and we're having a Sunday roast, and my mum was getting that ready, and it smelled so good. And then me and my grandma and my mum and younger sister were watching a bit of this David Attenborough documentary. I love a bit of David Attenborough. And then we watched a bit of the Robin Williams Jumanji, which is such a classic. My dad and me were then playing with Bear out in the garden with his rope toy, which he loves. And then my older sister and older brother and his girlfriend, my younger brother and his girlfriend, came over for tea, and we had our Sunday roast. And then for pudding we had some jam donuts, and I had mine with a cup of tea. and show you guys the Sunday roast and the jam donut I had for my tea. The Sunday roast was so delicious, and it's so lovely having the whole family together, and I always love spending time with my siblings, and whenever we're all together we end up going back to being big kids again. And we then had some donuts for our pudding, and I had mine with a cup of tea, and I love a jam donut. I managed to not get it all over me like last time. The jam literally squirted out and went all over me, which was not good. And then my grandma got dropped home, and I am now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, put that away, and then me and my siblings are going to be playing some games. And I hope you guys have all had a lovely week and weekend, and all have a great new week ahead. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you with a new vlog coming very soon.